At the end of the Hashira training arc, Zenitsu receives a letter which changes his life. Up until this point, he would do anything to avoid getting into battle. But all of that completely changed after this one letter. A once scared and cowardly brat became completely fearless. And that begs the question, what was in that letter? You will find out in just a second. Now let's begin. After Ubayashiki goes boom with his wife and kids, Muzan is captured by Tamayo. All the Hashiras rush towards him, but Muzan, with a smirk, sends all the demon slayers falling down the Infinity Castle to fight with the demons. As everyone then engages in fights with the Upper Moon demons, Zenitsu stands in front of a sliding door. With his advanced sense of hearing, he can sense someone on the other side of the door. He calls them out, telling them to reveal themselves, saying he knows that he is just dawdling around the other side. A voice replies to Zenitsu telling him that's not the right way to address him, since he is the older disciple here. Then a demonic hand opens the door, saying Zenitsu has improved a bit. The someone behind the door reveals themselves, and it's none other than the new Upper Moon 6, Kaigaku. The demon with blue glowing eyes and a grin across his face calls Zenitsu as dainty as ever, also saying it's been long since they last met. Zenitsu, with a dead serious expression, says that now that Kaigaku is a demon, he is no longer his senior. Somewhere else, in another room, Kagaya's daughter confirms that Zenitsu has bumped into Upper Moon 6. As both of them are standing face to face, Kaigaku says that Zenitsu surely hasn't changed, calling him puny and as weak as ever. He adds on by asking Zenitsu whether he is a Hashira now, and can he even perform anything other than the first form of thunder breathing. Zenitsu fires back with an insult, saying that the only reason Kaigaku became an Upper Moon was to fill in an empty space. This stuns Kaigaku a little, but he laughs it off by saying Zenitsu can talk back now. Zenitsu asks Kaigaku why he became a demon. Why did the rightful successor of thunder breathing had to become a demon? But before Kaigaku could reply, Zenitsu shouts, saying if Kaigaku hadn't become a demon, then their master would still be alive. And now we are told what was actually written in the letter that Zenitsu had previously received. Turns out, after hearing the news that Kaigaku has become a demon, their master Jigoro, aka the previous Thunder Hashira, committed seppuku. It was a practice in medieval Japan that swordsmen would slit open their own stomach with a sword if anything extremely shameful were to be cast upon them. And in the case of Jigoro, the shameful thing was Kaigaku becoming a demon. Also, when someone commits seppuku, there is someone else present to behead them or stab their heart. But in the case of Jigoro, there was no one to do so. That means he died a slow and painful death, all because of Kaigaku. Kaigaku, however, expresses no sorrow or shame. Instead, he even goes as far as insulting their master, saying he is glad the old fart died a painful death, since he never gave Kaigaku the title of successor, and rather wanted him to share it with someone as dirt as Zenitsu, also calling Jigoro senile. Zenitsu, now shaking with rage, says that Jigoro was not senile, and if he is dirt, then Kaigaku is garbage, since he can't even use the most basic first form of thunder breathing. This insult pushes Kaigaku over the edge, and he lashes out a lightning attack infused with his blood demon art. Zenitsu prepares for the attack as Kaigaku lunges forward with his blade, but Zenitsu was already behind him while clutching onto his own. Kaigaku is shocked by the boy's speed. Then Zenitsu looks over his shoulder, calling the demon too slow. Then blood starts squirting out of Kaigaku's newfound wound as he watches in disbelief that Zenitsu is moving like a completely different person. Kaigaku is then reminded of the time he became a demon. The menacing body of Upper Moon One Kokushibo was towering over Kaigaku, with his head bowed in absolute fear. Kokushibo then offers Kaigaku some of Muzan's blood, saying if he is accepted by Muzan, then he shall become their ally. Also mentioning that becoming a powerful demon takes time, and that it took Kokushibo himself 3 days to become one. He then tells Kaigaku not to spill a single drop of that blood on the ground, otherwise his torso and head will have a sorrowful parting. Kaigaku says that during that time, the cells in his body were screaming in fear of Kokushibo, and compared to him, Zenitsu is nothing but a punk, because a boy who never had any pride or guts, and who would cry over the slightest discomfort, could never beat an Upper Moon like himself. Kaigaku, clenching his sword in his hand, shouts that everyone's gotta die someday, and Zenitsu and the old man Jigoro are no exceptions. He then unleashes the second form of thunder breathing that starts burning away Zenitsu's skin. Zenitsu says that Kaigaku has probably eaten a lot of humans, and asks the demon if he cannot tell the difference between right and wrong now. To this, Kaigaku replies by saying that those who judge him correctly and accept him are right, and those who don't are wrong. He then unleashes the third and fifth form of thunder breathing, all of which hit Zenitsu. Kaigaku asks how his blood demon art tastes, as then a bunch of slashes appear all over Zenitsu's body, burning his skin. The floor then gives away, and Zenitsu starts falling to his death. Kaigaku shouts that he is special, unlike Zenitsu and all the others. As Zenitsu is falling, he is reminded of the time he was training under Jigoro, and how his master used to tell him to be more like Kaigaku. He remembers an incident where two demon slayers were talking bad about Kaigaku behind his back, saying how he could never become a Hashira since he doesn't know how to use the first and the most basic form of thunder breathing. Seeing someone insult Kaigaku like that angers Zenitsu, and he beats up the two demon slayers. Kaigaku, however, shouts at Zenitsu for beating someone higher rank than him. Zenitsu, however, treasured Kaigaku just as much as he treasured their master. Kaigaku, however, was never satisfied. The box of happiness in his heart just kept leaking out. Zenitsu then apologizes to Jigoro, saying that this is where Kaigaku and him part ways. As Zenitsu is falling, he adjusts his posture, planting his legs against the walls. This surprises the demon. Zenitsu then says sorry to Kaigaku as he leaps, slicing Kaigaku's neck using the newly created 7th form of thunder breathing, Flaming Thunder God. Kaigaku's head gets sliced from his body, leaving the demon in utter disbelief, saying he couldn't see Zenitsu because he was too fast. He wonders what attack Zenitsu just used, saying he has never seen it before. He shouts, saying that Jigoro only taught Zenitsu this move and not to him, accusing Jigoro of having Zenitsu as his favorite student. Zenitsu replies by saying that Jigoro never taught him this form. Instead, this was developed by Zenitsu himself to someday fight alongside Kaigaku. As both of them start falling to their death, Kaigaku gets mad, saying he can't accept that a loser like Zenitsu, who can only perform one form of thunder breathing, created a completely new form, also saying that he can't accept being defeated by such a guy. Kaigaku, however, realizes that Zenitsu is also going to die right now because he has no stamina left. But during that instant, Yushiro arrives, telling Kaigaku that it sure is pathetic to die alone. Yushiro then leaps, saving Zenitsu and laying his unconscious body on the floor. As Zenitsu lies on the brink of death, his spirit escapes to the world beyond, where he comes face to face with his master Jigoro. Zenitsu, with tears in his eyes, apologizes to his master for not being able to save Kaigaku from choosing the wrong path and not being able to become a Hashira while Jigoro was alive. Jigoro then calls out Zenitsu's name and with tears in his eyes says that Zenitsu is his pride and joy. This brings tears to the eyes of Zenitsu as well, as he then wakes up in the real world in front of Yushiro, who was patching him up. Elsewhere, Giyu and Tanjiro are running across looking for upper moon demons when they hear a loud punch and breaking the ceiling. Akaza lands in front of them. Subscribe for more, and if you want to watch the fight of Akaza versus Giyu and Tanjiro, then click here. See you in the next video, guys.